Papua New Guineans are exhausted by Prime Minister James Marape's daily irrational decisions, the latest being the relocation of the Department of the Prime Minister and the National Executive Council to a building called Melanesian Haus, which is owned by a Chinese Malaysian. Sir Manasupeh Haus is state-owned, so we owe no rent to anyone. But in James Marape's so-called wisdom, he is now moving his office into a rented property, forcing the state to pay rent to a private landlord. The office of the Prime Minister of the independent state of Papua New Guinea will now operate under another man's roof. This means the people of Papua New Guinea will be saddled with hundreds of millions of kinas in rental payments to a developer. Furthermore, serious questions remain. Who truly owns this building, and how was the contract awarded to house the Prime Minister's office there? The nation is being led into dangerously compromised territory. If Marape places such blind trust in his new landlord, it raises legitimate concerns about the true nature of their relationship. Mr. Alfred Andapanga points out that moving the Prime Minister's office from a state-owned, state-built facility to a privately owned building managed by a foreign national raises serious concerns. Doesn't this compromise our national security and sovereignty? Even more troubling is the shift from a rent-free government property to a facility that will cost taxpayers millions in rent.
Papua New Guinea. Look at this building here. This building and premier building block Papua New Guinea, government block Papua New Guinea, and White House block Papua New Guinea. This building is owned by the state, built by the state, and managed by the state. So at White House block Papua New Guinea. So Prime Minister recently moved him. Office of Prime Minister away from this building, White House you mean? And then we decide to move him office of Prime Minister, the highest office on our land. This is the highest office on our land here. And Prime Minister move him go. And move him go, carry him go to a building that's built by a Chinese, owned by a Chinese, and managed by a Chinese. Is indeed not a compromise of national security. This is one kind of time. President of America, James Donald Trump, I'm losing White House. I'm go rent him office law. President of one building owned by a Chinese or not Facebook. Is that anything in America by complaint or not? About the compromise of national security. Bro, you mean? Prime Minister, I don't know for why. Why them present through? Every movement is the office of Prime Minister, the highest office on our land. And we decide to move to the office where the building is owned by a Chinese, built by a Chinese, and who never know? Managed by a Chinese. Isn't it not a compromise of the national security? That's what I'm saying. It's time tribal office law. Tribal office law Papua New Guinea. Not to mention that you make a cash flow issues the country blow you mean. Come on, no money. Although we said 15, I can't get something or something, but we said 15, no manage your cash flow. Why don't you mean utilize him in the office where he owned by state where? You mean by not paying a single toy? This building is free, and I don't know why Prime Minister decided to move the office law. This is very busy. So, look at this building, eh? This building that's all the Prime Minister moving office them come there. I think you must sit down close to the Parliament House. So this for me, I think this is compromise of national security. And now, and President Blow, America run Donald Trump, I don't have losing White House now, go rent him on the office, put him office the Prime Minister, President of America, building owned by Chinese or Australian or one kind national building. Obviously, all by the blow you mean kind so. Prime Minister, I don't know what's going on him. This is for me, like I said, I'm saying it again, it's a compromise of national security.